The main feature of this watch is the world time. We're talking 31 time zones. Today, I'm going to share with you the $25 world time watch. Welcome back, my subscribers. In continuation with my Casio theme, Casio's data bank was the first watch that I became aware of, the first watch I saw my dad wearing, and I finally got my own. And if you watch my previous video, you'll get to see the specs and why I think it's still a great watch today, why many people are attracted to it. However, if you're interested in what else Casio has to offer, aside from a G-Shock or a Casio, as they call them, how about a world timer watch? I know for those of you who are into watches, anything that's annual calendar, anything that's world time, beyond the GMT functions, we're talking a couple $1,000s because mechanically, these things are very challenging and require very skillful people to make them. However, in the digital world, we have the shortcut. You can just put a chip in there, put a screen, and you can scroll through because it will do all the math for you and cut through that mechanical, old-fashioned, time-consuming process to get the same benefit. So I'm not saying don't get a world time watch or don't get a dual time or an annual calendar. They're great. But if you are on a budget or you just don't care about those mechanical pieces and don't want to spend as much, you can get a world timer piece for $25. So this watch to me would be a step up from the data bank only because of the features for the same price. And the first feature that makes it a step up for me is the water resistance. This is a 100-meter water resistant watch, whereas the previous one, we're talking splash resistant. It just says water resistant on the back case. It doesn't give you a number, but when you read into it, you know you can't swim with this, you can't shower with it. You're gonna mess up this watch because it's made for, everyday use, but not hardcore sports. Now, this one's different. We've got 100 meters, which alone makes it already a resilient watch. We've got the neat light up feature. Everyone likes that. I remember being a little kid and anything that had a light up feature on a watch, I was so impressed with because I could see it at night. It's one of those neat features, but same thing here. I mean, if it's in the dark, since there's no Luminova or BGW9 and none of that glowing stuff on this watch, you just press the button, you have the orange LED lighting it up, you can see everything on the screen. So similar to the data bank, this has an annual calendar. So you're getting the year, the day, the date, same till the year 2099. And you see it all clearly displayed because this screen setup is a little different from the data bank, which is a lot more minimalist. You'll see all the information right in front of you. You'll see the date, the month and the date. If you want to see the year, you have to press the mode button, but all that information is accessible right just by looking at the watch. Got a dual time mode. So again, also a GMT watch, obviously because this is a world time, but you can set your dual time so that it's just there ready for you at that press. We've got the ability to also set it on as military time. And another cool feature is, aside from seeing the time digitally, you can see the time analog. It's a hybrid analog digital design where you see the circle with the time being marked with the seconds running. And that's because if you're going through the modes, seeing a previous time or a time from a different time zone, I said time a lot, or you're using the stopwatch, you could still see what time it is right on the dial without having to feel like you have to go back and forth on the modes. So that's neat because it's straight on. Information is important. The layout's great. This thing has a 10-year battery. So that's even more impressive than the previous data bank that's at 5. So you set this calendar up with the year, the month and date, you won't have to worry about setting this for 10 years. That's pretty cool. Similar construction. This is made of resin. You've got plastic. You got a steel back cover screwed down. You've got the 4 buttons. One is to go through the modes. One is to turn on the light. One is to adjust whatever mode you're on. So if you set your GMT time, you would just press the adjust button and you'll be able to see other functions. As opposed to data bank, you've got 5 alarms that you can set. You've got a stopwatch, but you also have a time, a countdown feature on this, which is really cool. You've got different color options. I went with the rosy gold one. I felt like it just looked a little classic. At the same time, it's a sport model, so it looks pretty cool with this color scheme. But there's other colors if you're interested as well. Okay, let me give you the quick measurements. Here we're talking, it's also an integrated bracelet design. So bracelets at 24, so same as the previous. Lug to lug, we're talking 45, width 40. So it's a little bit chunkier than the data bank, obviously. Here you can see them side by side. Very similar. I would say this one's more of a square. This one's obviously a rectangle. Okay, finally, the main feature of this watch is the world time. We're talking 31 time zones. These 31 time zones cover 48 cities, and it's so cool. And I think it was very intuitive. Without reading a manual or anything, I was able to set the time zone that I wanted. And then once it's set, you just press search, which is the far bottom right button, and you can scroll through the different cities. And so it'll break up the cities by the area you're at. And it's cool because you just keep pressing it and you see what time it is in those places. No math, no confusing legibility, straight on the time. So overall, this is a great watch. This just has so many features. It's a great alternative, like I said, to having an Apple Watch if you don't want to have one on your wrist, or in general, just having a watch for your sport, for your exercise, for every day, that has all these features. You know, you don't have to pull out your phone to use a timer. You don't have to pull out your phone to see what time it is in another time zone. All these things are done here and they're on your wrist. It just makes it easy for those who want to use this for athletic purposes. And I would say this is not as dressy. I feel like you could pull off a data bank. Well, some people pull it off with a little bit more formal. I feel like not many would do that, but some people would do it with the data bank, whereas this one just looks too sporty to do that. But that's the point of this one, and this would be my choice for an exercise workout watch or swimming. One of the reasons I got it was to swim with it and time lapse on it. It's just an easy watch to use. You would think that because all these features are in here and you only have 4 buttons that it would be complicated, but Casio did a good job and they continue to do it. So if you're interested in one of these, go over to Amazon. You'll see them for around 25, 30, depending on the seller. The average price is 25 bucks. It's for what you're getting. This is a steal. Well, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll have more budget-friendly watches coming soon. There's tons to talk about in this category, and I'm mainly showing them to you because these are watches that they're everyday watches. They're beater watches, watches with features, with great looks. There's just a lot to like and to add you to your collection. Thanks for watching.